Welcome back to Holtham's Apiary. I'm Jason Holtham, and we're back outside in the beautiful woods behind my house. And I thought today Ellie and I would take a walk, and I will talk to you about bee stings, what you can do before you get stung, when you get stung, and after you get stung. You won't want to miss it. So, as I mentioned in the intro, there are some things that you can do before, during, and after a bee sting. Now, that first part might sound kind of strange because when do you really ever know when you're going to get stung? Well, the bees are actually going to give you some warnings. They're not just going to come flying right straight out of the hive and sting you. If you're performing a hive inspection, there's some things you can look out for to let you know that the bees are getting ready to send you on your way with a stinger in your skin. One thing that you can look out for is when you're working with the bees, if you start to notice that they are becoming more agitated, they're moving quicker, they're becoming louder, that's a warning sign. They are not feeling too good about the situation. Regardless of how much smoke you might actually apply to them, they might not calm down. So in that situation, maybe your best bet is just to close up shop for the day and come back another time. If you start to see a lot of bees collecting on top of the hive body, on top of the frames, that's an indication that the guard bees are starting to get a little annoyed. Starting to get a little annoyed with your presence. So you can look out for those types of things. Another thing that you can look out for is if the bees start to really fly around your face. If you're wearing a veil and they start bouncing against the veil, they're actually trying to get to your face. Or if they start really flying around your hands, that's a warning sign. The bees are trying to tell you, we don't want you here. You need to leave. So if you can identify those warning signs, then you can avoid being stung. Most people, however, who are not beekeepers and are just minding their own business and they have nothing to do with the bee colony or hives whatsoever, of course you won't have those warning signs. But commonly, the honeybees that you encounter if you're not a beekeeper are forager bees. They're the bees that are on the flowers and collecting nectar and pollen. Now, those bees, they are much older and they've matured quite a bit in their age, so the potency of their venom is much, much higher. So you want to avoid disturbing those bees as much as you can. Now, what does that mean to avoid disturbing them? Well, if you're walking barefoot through a field of clover, for instance, where you see lots of honeybees and you step on one, you're going to get stung and it's going to hurt. So just be mindful of those types of situations. So those are the things that you can do before you get stung. Okay, now we're going to talk about what you should do when and immediately after you've been stung. As a beekeeper, if you're working around the bees and the bees have stung you, or one bee has stung you, just remain calm. Okay, that's the first thing you need to do. Remain calm. Don't start waving your hand all around your face and jumping up and down, because then you're just confirming to the bees what they already suspected, that you're a wild animal and you're only there with bad intentions to destroy the hive. So they'll send more guards to keep stinging you. Remain calm, okay? The second and third thing to do, you can decide in which order you do them, but it's important that you do these next two steps as soon as possible. remove the stinger and apply smoke to the area that was stung. You have to do both things when you're working with the bees and you intend on to continue to work with the bees, because when the bee stings you and she leaves her stinger in your skin, attached to that stinger is a venom sac. And that venom sac has its own nerve system that will keep pumping venom into your skin. So it's going to continue to hurt. You'll have more venom in your skin. You might have a stronger allergic reaction. So you need to remove that stinger. And the second thing about that stinger and when the bee stings you is that when she's dying, she's releasing warning pheromones. So she's basically also signaling to the rest of the bees in the colony that you are bad news and they need to send more guards to keep stinging you to get you away from the colony. So that's where the smoke comes in. Now, before we get more into the smoke, let's talk a little bit first about how to remove that stinger. Whatever you do, do not try to just squeeze it and pull it out. Because, as I said before, the venom sac is still attached to the stinger and you'll just be pumping more venom straight into your skin. You want to try to scrape it away, either with your fingernail or with your hive tool. But be careful. If you use the hive tools tend to be sharp. You don't want to cut yourself. So you've removed the stinger. Now you should apply smoke to that area, because the smoke will cover the pheromones and will basically suppress that warning signal that the bee was trying to send to the others in the hive. So remain calm, remove the stinger, and apply smoke. Bored? Are you bored? Yeah, you're bored. Okay. All right, so now that you've gotten back home, what you need to do is you need to keep an eye on the sting area. It's probably going to be red. It's going to be itchy. Maybe even be some swelling, which is really kind of annoying, especially if it's around your face or on your fingers. But that's pretty common in normal symptoms after a bee sting. What you really have to keep an eye out for, however, are the symptoms of a severe allergic reaction, such as dizziness or shortness of breath. If you have those symptoms, you need to seek medical attention. It can be quite dangerous. Okay, so those are the types of things that you can do, and just keep an eye on the stung area. That's it for today's video. If you haven't already done it, please subscribe and we'll get more content out to you as soon as possible. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and have fun beekeeping.